Greetings and welcome to the Why Struggle podcast. I'm your host, Barbara Faison, and my intention with this podcast is to offer ideas, insights, and inspirations so you can live life better. Greetings and welcome to 2025 Week 8 Tools Part 3. This is an episode about grounding yourself in the present moment. If you're new to the podcast, welcome, and if you listen regularly, thank you. It's been somewhere around 30 years since I started meditating. I started slow and then made it a daily practice. I believe having meditation as a practice has helped me navigate life in a more intentional and calm way. I believe meditating really helped me avoid a lot of things, including having a lot of anxious feelings. Unless you're living under a rock, you can see that there's a lot going on in the world right now. Using tools and practices is one way I manage my emotions during these interesting times. We're on part 3 of Tools for Living. So far, I've covered breathing in Week 1 and the practice of gratitude in Week 2. The tool for this week is a grounding practice. What is grounding? Grounding is a practice that relaxes your mind and body and helps you stay in the present moment. You see, your mind is designed to protect you. It is actively paying attention to everything that is going on. It's noticing and calculating how to keep you safe. When you practice grounding yourself, you become connected to what is happening right now, and that allows your mind to focus. The beautiful thing about the mind is that you can tell it what to do. That itself is a practice. Scientists have studied the brain, and we know that the brain is dynamic, and we can actively help it. I say, train your brain, be kind to your mind, pay attention to what you think about and how you feel. I heard from somewhere that if you name your mind and talk to your mind, it is really a good way to train yourself to stay focused. I call my mind Gracie. I talk to her like I would to a person, and an example is when I'm about to go to bed. While in bed, I say, Gracie, I appreciate all you've done for me this day. It's time to relax and go to bed. You've done enough today. If you're a person of a certain age, they used to say, if you talk to yourself, you are crazy. Now we know that talking to yourself is helpful. So, let's practice grounding ourselves, which will help us stay in this moment. It's time to practice a grounding technique called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In this practice, we will focus on 5 things you see, 4 things you touch, 3 things you hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. You can also adapt this practice to focus on only one of your senses, like 5 things you see, or you may adjust the number of items for that particular sense. An example might be instead of noticing 5 things you see, you may notice 3 things you see. Let's give this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding practice a try. Here's an example of how it goes. Notice 5 things you see: rose bushes, birch trees, a red cardinal, a lounge chair, a white truck. 4 things you touch: my chair, my hand to my heart, my cell phone, my yoga mat. 3 things you hear: cars passing by, someone cutting their grass, a plane flying overhead. 2 things you smell: the heat and my hand lotion. 1 thing you taste: a ginger mint. Are you ready to give this a try? Let's do it. I'll lead you and give you time to notice the items, and then we'll end the practice. So are you ready? Let's begin. Name 5 things you can see right now. Wonderful. What are 4 things you can touch right now and touch them? Now tell me 3 things you can hear. Lovely. What are 2 things you can smell? And finally, 1 thing you can taste. Now let's take a deep breath in through the nose with a loud exhale. So breathe in and out. And this is when you would check in with your body to notice how you feel. And remember, this 5-4-3-2-1 technique can be done anytime you start to feel a little anxiety or discomfort coming on and you don't feel grounded in your body. This is a beautiful grounding technique. 5-4-3-2-1. 5 things you see, 4 things you touch, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you can taste. I like ginger mint, so that's usually my 1 thing I can taste. What did you notice about yourself when you were doing the grounding technique? Would the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding practice be something you could use as a tool at some point? Feel free to leave a comment, observation, or reflection where you're listening to this podcast. If you'd like to reach out to me directly, you can email me at barbarafaisonllc@gmail.com. And if social media is better for you, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn are the best ways to reach me. The card I pulled for us today from my Relax, Listen, and Trust Your Inner Guidance card deck is the number 10, Listen. I give myself grace. Grace. Such a simple thing. Phew! As I take a deep breath, thinking about how I wanted this day to go, and I give myself grace knowing it is just right. If you would like to order a card deck, you can go to barbarafaison.com/store and look for the cards. Our last Breathe with Barbara live session for this month is on Wednesday, February 19th. You can find out more by going to barbarafaison.com/store and look for the live sessions. You can also use Ship10 for 10% off anything in the store. I hope you will check out my YouTube channel, Barbara Faison, where I share ideas, insights, and reminders to be in the present moment called breath breaks and more. If you'd like to take a breath break, you can find over 50 on the Breath Break playlist. Be sure to subscribe, follow, share, and leave a comment if you joined. Feel free to share your thoughts, ask a question, or just say hello to me via email at barbarafaisonllc@gmail.com. You can also find upcoming events and where you can meditate with me. All of the links are on LINKTR.EE/Barbarafaison. Thank you for your support in being on this journey with me. Until next time, keep breathing and do something new. Be well and be kind to you. Keep breathing.